I'll just do a small recap of what we have done in the previous class before we go forward. Okay, see, 2-point sources supplied with currents equal magnitude opposite phase. 1 second, I'll just do in phase also. So this is to okay, so one small recap what we have done so far in the last 2 classes. I will do it before going forward. So we have done what is known as an array of point sources. What is a point source? It is an isotropic radiator which radiates with equal intensity in all the direction. That is the what to say, that is how a point source is defined. Array of point source is nothing but an array of isotropic radiator. For the greater number of point sources, analysis is complex. So therefore we take only 2 point sources into consideration when we are doing analysis of the point sources. So first we do case 1, 2 point sources supplied with currents equal magnitude and equal phase. So we have considered 2 point sources where the reference point I have taken as the point A1 itself. So both point sources are supplied with currents of equal magnitude and equal phase, and we have considered a faraway point P and found the electric field there. So d cos phi is the path difference is given by d cos phi by lambda. Then we have defined what is psi, that is 2 pi into path difference d cos phi into lambda. Psi is equal to 2 pi by lambda into d cos phi. Now we define propagation constant beta as 2 pi by lambda, and we have defined psi as beta d cos phi, but beta is 2 pi by lambda. So we have taken the reference point at the origin only. Electric field is E naught, because at the origin you will not have a phase shift. Then at E2 you will have a phase shift of e raised to the power j psi. So with some mathematical manipulation and derivation, we got e raised to the power j psi by 2 into cos psi by 2, or cos psi by 2 and angle psi by 2. That is your angle psi by 2 is rotating with respect to your origin. This is the vector diagram for that. Now we also did 2 point sources supplied with currents equal magnitude and equal phase, and the reference point is taken at the center of the array. If the reference point is taken at the center of the array, E naught e raised to the power j psi by 2 into E naught e raised to the power minus j psi by 2, because the phase shift will get divided equally. So you will not get this angle psi by 2, you will only get as cos psi by 2. If you take the reference point at the origin, you will get an angle psi by 2. So please read the question very carefully before starting your derivation. Then we have found what is maxima minima direction. For maxima direction equate to plus minus 1, and for minima direction equate to 0. So you will get that maxima direction is 90 or 270 degree for current supplied with equal magnitude, equal phase, and for minima direction you will get 0 or 180 degree. Then we also found the half power point direction 60 or 120 degree, and we have found this is how your radiation pattern will come. This is an example of broadside array wherein the radiation pattern is perpendicular to the axis at an angle of 90 and 270 degrees. Then we did 2 point sources. So all of you are able to see the screen? Yes, very good. Thank you. 2 point sources supplied with currents equal magnitude but opposite phase. So equal magnitude, opposite phase, E naught e raised to the power j psi by 2. Opposite phase means negative sign is for opposite phase. That is why if it is same phase, it is positive sign. So this is the major difference. And I am taking the point source, reference point right at the center of the array. So you will get 2 j naught e naught sin psi by 2. So assuming the reference point as A1, you will get as an angle minus psi by 2. So either of the derivation is fine, but if nothing is asked in the question, take the reference point at the center of the array. If it is clearly mentioned, take the reference point at the origin, take the reference point at the origin, or do both the derivations if you are having doubt. So maxima direction equate to plus minus 1, then you will get the maxima direction in case of opposite phases 0 or 180 degree, and minima direction as 90 and 270 degree. Half power point direction remains at 60 or 120 degree. This is what will happen in end fire array. Your radiation pattern will be along the axis. So if you just invert the phase, the same set of antenna will become as an end fire array. So 2 point sources of same phase, maximum direction is 90 or 270 degree, and minimum direction is 0 or 180 degree, and half power point direction is 60 or 120 degree. For opposite phase, your maximum direction will be 0 or 180 degree, and your minima direction will be 90 or 270 degree. Half power point direction remains the same. So this is the example of broadside array where the array elements are arranged parallel to it, and the maximum radiation is along the perpendicular to the axis containing the array elements. So this is known as your broadside array and this is known as your end fire array. That is what we have done in the previous class. All of you got it?
Yes, sir.
Any doubt? So I did a small recap what we have done earlier so that we can start today's class. Please write down today's class. We will be doing linear array of n isotropic point source supplied with currents of equal amplitude, phase, and spacing. Okay, linear array of n isotropic point sources supplied with currents of equal amplitude and spacing. Clear? Clear what we are
Yes, sir.
doing? Yeah, okay. Now, for the first time, we are doing n isotropic point sources. It is not 2 point sources. Now, the complexity increases. Please concentrate very hard in the class because these things are very important. If you are understanding in the class, you will get 90% of the mark. That is my guarantee. Otherwise, I will change my name to whatever name you suggest. Okay, write down, please. An array of n elements, an array of n elements is said to be linear array if all the individual elements in the array are spaced equally along a line. Okay. Next, an array is said to be uniform array if the elements in the array are fed with currents equal in magnitude with uniform progressive uniform progressive phase shift along the line containing array elements. See, I can ask this in the second test as your some definition. Okay, so an array of n elements is said to be linear array. So I'll ask you define linear array. So that time you have to write an array of n elements is said to be linear array if all the individual elements in the array are spaced equally along a line. So that is your definition of a linear array. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Next, now an array is said to be uniform array. So first definition is for what is a linear array. So next definition is what is a uniform array. Now this is definition is for linear array. That definition is this. Next, what is the definition for a uniform linear array or uniform array, whichever you want you can call. So that time you have to use the second definition. An array is said to be uniform array if the elements in the array are fed with currents equal in magnitude and uniform progressive phase shift along the line containing array elements. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Come on, I want some Josh. Yes, sir, you can tell no, or yes, whatever you want, you tell. Did you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
See, you should have good Josh. Now we are in all your Diwali season. Come on, have some good Josh. Consider n element. Consider an n element. Now this is what the derivation we are doing. Uniform array with all the individual elements spaced equally at a distance d from each other and all the elements in the array are fed with currents equal in magnitude and uniform phase shift along the line. So whenever I ask the derivation for a linear array of n point sources, these two definitions need not be written. This is for the definition. If they ask, you have to start from here. Consider an n element uniform linear array with all the individual elements spaced equally at a distance d from each other, and all the elements in the array are fed with currents equal in magnitude and uniform phase shift along the line. Is it clear? All of you are able to see?
Yes, sir.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me, sir.
So
the meeting is full and few students are unable to join, it seems, sir.
Okay. Just give me a sec. That link is shared in your WhatsApp group. You can check that.
Yes, sir.
Okay, no problem. We'll continue with what we have. So simply we'll worry about that later. So I forgot to do that exercise today. Okay. So shall we continue with our derivation?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Please draw this. This is your x direction. This is your y direction. So this is your xy plane. Please draw parallel lines like this. Are all of you are able to see the board?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. See, the spacing between these two parallel lines should be same. That is what I am trying to do. So ensure that it is almost similar when you are drawing. This distance should be almost similar. You got in my point? You got my point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All of you are drawing what I am drawing along with me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Draw one distant point P here. This is your P. So I have to find the electric field at your point P at a very distant point from these point sources. So I'll call this point source as A0. I will call this point source as A1. I will call this point source as A2. I'll call this point source as A3. So dash, 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 dash. This keeps on continuing up to AN minus one point source. Then you will have AN at the point source after that. So this the angle is your angle phi. So what will be this angle? If that is phi, this will also be phi, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
this will
sir.
also be psi, sorry, phi. So what will be this distance now? What will be this distance? Guess me. What I have to write here?
D.
Tomorrow. Distance between two array elements.
D cos phi.
This distance is d ba. Okay. That is what I am asking you. I'm using different colors to differentiate that. So you can draw in same color. Don't find sketch pens. Where is my sketch pen and start finding that. Okay. So if you draw in black also is fine. Got it? All of you got it? I am
Yes, sir.
drawing little colorfully so that the
Yes, sir.
presentation- So
Yes,
this is
sir.
D. So what will be this distance here? D cos phi. This distance will be D cos phi. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
Ah. This will be D cos phi, and this distance will also be your D cos phi. So this distance is your D cos phi. All are able to see, visualize? All are able to visualize?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Fine. Now what we have done is we are doing array of n point sources instead of 2 point sources. So I have n elements here: A0, A1, A2, A3, A4. Yeah, up to an minus 1. So the next element will be an. Nth element will be the last element. This is your x-axis and this is your y-axis. Okay, this is your axis. This is your x-axis. This is your y-axis. That is what I have shown in the figure. So now we are doing array of n point sources. All of you have drawn this diagram. Now can
Yes,
I
sir.
go forward? Okay. Write down total resultant field at the distance point P is obtained by adding electric fields due to individual sources vector vectorially. So your total electric field E total. Okay. So what will be first electric field, ma? Purva Chandra Prakash. What I should write the first equation here. Suppose this is your reference point at your point A naught. So what will be electric field? There.
E naught.
What I should write?
E naught.
Yes, Beena, please tell me what I should write. First one. What I should write first one. You are able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So what will be the first equation?
E naught.
Very good. E naught. Very good. So for better understanding, you can write there is no phase shift e raised to the power j0. That is equal to 1. You can write e naught or e raised to the power j0. Very good. So now tell me next equation who will tell? Tanupriya, can you tell what will be the next equation? Due to point source A1, what is your electric field at point P? Tell me. Come on, you should learn with me. You can do it. Come on, tell me. Tanupriya,
Yes, sir.
tell me what should be the next equation? See, you people have to read in your home, but you can't simply come like that. Okay, now who else will tell?
E naught
Arpita.
into E power.
Yes, Purva Chandra, tell me E naught.
E power J5.
Very good. E power j psi. That is your due to point source A1. Now, what will be a point source A2? What will be the next equation? E naught into what? Whom shall I ask? Yes, Meenakshi DM. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
What will be the next equation? Tell me. E naught. Come on, tell me. Okay, Saurabh, but tell me.
E naught equals to e power minus j5.
Who is that? Okay, Purva Chandra, tell me what will be the next equation here? Now think here. E naught e raised to the power j0. E naught e raised to the power j psi. What will be due to A2?
E power J2 psi.
Excellent. You deserve some present from me, okay? You e raised to the power 2j psi or j2 psi, whatever it is. Excellent. Now, what will be the next element? But tell me E naught e power
3 psi.
3J5.
It is all progressive phase shift, so you can't do mistake. Now, what will be the last element here? Plus dash 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 dash. So, what will be this? E naught. What will be this element here? N minus 1. What will be that?
E power n minus 1 J5.
E power excellent j n minus 1 into psi. Actually, this should be written as j2 psi, j3 psi. I have written as 3j psi there. This is your will be the last element as per this array elements. All of you are clear with this?
Yes, sir.
Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Bhavana SP clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Nagesh, clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Divakar Reddy, is it clear? Mr. Divakar Reddy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What is clear? Tell me. What is clear in this? Okay, we'll call this as what is clear? Okay, so if I take E naught outside, Purva Chandra Prakash, what equation I should write here? 1 plus, what will be this element?
E power
Hmm.
E power J psi.
Very good. Plus,
E power J2 psi.
yes, plus,
E power J3 psi.
hmm.
Plus so on E power J n minus 1 psi.
See, Purva Chandra Prakash, your understanding is really good. I would appreciate if you were to write GATE 2020. Have you registered for that?
Sir. Gate, sir.
GATE. Graduate Aptitude Test in Engineering.
No, sir.
Why?
I thought I could write in next year.
Okay, very good. At least you have an aim of writing. Write down. Let psi be equal to, what is psi bar? Beta d
Cos phi.
cos phi. Now write plus alpha. Now I'll tell you what is that alpha. Write it this down. This indicates the total phase difference from adjacent sources adjacent sources calculated at point T. Where alpha indicates. Okay. Now what happens is we are considering A1 source with respect to A naught, so you will get your beta d cos phi. Agreed? Okay. A1 with respect to A naught, you get your d cos phi, that is your phase shift. A2 with respect to A1 is again your d cos phi. Now what will happen is this A2 will have one phase shift with respect to A naught. This will have phase shift with respect to this, as well as with respect to this, as well as with respect to this. Now suppose I go for A4, what will happen? A4 will have phase shift with respect to A3, it will have phase shift with respect to A2, it will have phase shift with respect to A1, in turn have phase this one. So you will have what is known as a progressive phase shift. That is what it is represented by additional term alpha, unlike your previous case where it is only beta d cos phi. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Continue with this. Alpha is the progressive phase shift between two. Okay, okay. Sorry, this is not alpha. 1 minute. Your psi is your total phase shift, where your psi is your total phase shift, and alpha is the progressive phase difference. Progressive phase difference between two adjacent point sources. Two adjacent point sources. Okay. Alpha may be 0 degree or 180 degree. If alpha is equal to 0 degree, implies n element uniform broadside array. If alpha is equal to 180 degree, it indicates what it indicates? N element uniform. Which array should come? Fill in the blanks.
End side array.
End fire array. Clear, all of you? Clear, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All of you clear?
Yes,
What is
Yes,
alpha?
sir.
Okay. Harshita K, is it clear? Harshita K, Harshita DS, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Manoj Kumar DA, is it clear? Manoj Kumar DA.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, next step, multiply equation 1. Multiply equation 1. Please write down with me. Multiply equation 1 with e power j psi throughout. Multiply equation 1 with e power j psi throughout. So now what happens? This entire equation you have to multiply with e power j psi throughout. So what happens to your left hand side? Mr. Saurav, but are you there?
Yes, sir.
Tell me, et into e power j psi. Now what happens to your left hand side? You have e naught.
It will be into e power j5.
Wait. E power j psi plus e power j2 psi plus e power j3 psi plus dash 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 e power j e power. Something happened here. My one note. Okay. This will be e power j n minus 1 into psi. This is what happens. So take the e j psi inside the bracket. So if you take the e j psi inside the bracket, what will happen? E naught. This will be e power j psi plus e power j2 psi. All of you are with me?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
E power
Yes,
j
yes, sir.
4 psi. This is 4. Okay, this is number 4 plus dash dash dash. What will be the last element? E power j n psi. This will be your equation 2. Am I right?
Yes,
Am I right?
Sure.
Okay. Write down next one. Subtract equation 2 from equation 1. So where is your equation 1? 1 minus 2 you need to do. So equation 1 minus equation 2. Now, if you subtract 1 minus 2, what will happen? Please check these two equations. See, what will happen is e power j psi minus e power j psi. What happens? What happens? These two will get cancelled, no? Ej psi minus ej psi. Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
No, no, simply don't tell yes, sir. Do you got the equation 1 and 2? I'll write your
Yes,
equation.
sir.
Wait, we'll rewrite these equations. Tell me what is equation 1? Et is equal to, tell me equation 1.
E naught,
Ah, 1 plus,
bracket 1 plus
Hmm.
e power j psi
hmm,
plus e power j 2 psi
hmm,
plus e power j 3 psi,
hmm,
so on,
hmm,
e power j
hmm,
n minus 1
hmm,
psi.
hmm. This is your equation 1.
That will
Very
be
good.
1.
Thank you, Tanupriya. Tell me equation 2.
E plus e power j psi,
Hmm,
e naught,
hmm,
e power j psi
hmm,
plus e power j 2 psi
hmm,
plus e power j 3 psi plus e power j 4 psi plus so on, e power j n psi.
This is your equation 2. Now subtract. Okay, subtract 1 minus 2. Tell me what will happen to the left hand side. Et minus et e power j psi.
E power j
Ah.
psi.
Now what will happen to this right hand side?
E naught,
Hmm. Say very simple. 1 minus something is there here.
yeah,
What is there? First write down 1 minus what is that? Ej psi will get cancelled with this. This will get cancelled with this. This minus this. Then you will have j4 psi there and that will get cancelled. So just before this, what is the term? E power j n minus 1 into psi plus e raised to the power j n psi. So this will get cancelled with this. So what is the last term remaining
and
here?
then e power j n psi.
Got it, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Not you, ma, Tanupriya, others.
Yes,
So
sir.
left hand side,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
so left hand side, what I can write? Et 1 minus ej psi is equal to E naught 1 minus e raised to the power j n psi. Agreed. Call this as equation number 3. Call this as equation number 3. This is a very big derivation, so you all have to be with me. So I can write Et as E naught 1 minus e raised to the power j n psi divided by 1 minus e raised to the power j psi. Okay. All of you are clear till this point?
Yes, sir.
I can rewrite this as E naught. Okay. Take out e raised to the power j n psi by 2 outside the bracket. So what will come inside the bracket now? Purva Chandra, tell me. If I take e raised to the power j n psi by 2 outside, what will come inside the bracket?
E power j minus n psi.
E power minus j
N psi.
n psi by 2
Two.
minus e power j n
Psi
psi by 2
2.
divided by same exercise. I'll do down. What I should take it outside now? E power j psi by 2. So Purva Chandra, what will be the first term? E power
Minus j psi by 2.
minus j psi
Psi
by
by
2.
Minus e power j psi by 2.
E power j psi by 2. Excellent. Okay. Now, what will be your next step? So this I can write as E naught e power. I'll take j outside n minus 1 psi by 2. Can I write like this? If this goes to the numerator, psi by 2 is outside n minus 1 into psi by 2. Is it correct? Is it correct? Yes or no?
Yes,
Ah.
sir.
So one more thing, e raised to the power minus j theta minus e raised to the power j theta, I can write as minus 2j sin theta. Please make a note of this. Make a note of this formula. E raised to the power minus e raised to the power minus j theta minus e raised to the power j theta minus 2j sin theta. So what will happen here? What will happen here?
Minus 2j sin n phi by 2.
Yes, very good. What will happen here? Minus 2j sin n psi by 2 divided by, tell me,
Minus 2j sin phi by 2.
minus 2j
Sin phi by 2.
sin phi by 2. Minus 2j will get cancelled. So finally you will get e total is equal to e naught into e raised to the power e raised to the power, somewhere minus is there. No minus, no. Is minus there somewhere?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Just a second. No, minus is not there. So I can rewrite this as e power plus j n minus 1 psi by 2 into sine of n psi by 2 divided by sine psi by 2. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Now I will define a new term. Let zeta is equal to n minus 1 into psi by 2. This is your new term zeta. So your total electric field E total is equal to this will be e raised to the power j zeta into sine of n psi by 2 whole divided by sine of psi by 2. So this is your total electric field E total, and this is your angle part of it. If you only this is your vector component E total. So if you only consider the magnitude of the total electric field, so you will get that zeta component will go. You will get only n psi by 2 divided by sine of psi by 2. This is your magnitude component of it. So somewhere I forgot an E naught. Okay, sorry. Nobody told me. Here E naught is there. Okay. This is your magnitude component of it. Okay. Next, I will define one new thing known as the array factor. Next, I will define what is known as an array factor. Is given by total electric field E total E total divided by E total maximum. This is your array factor, and this is given by Et is nothing but E naught sine of n psi by 2 divided by sine psi by 2. This whole thing Et max will be E naught. So E naught will get cancelled, and your array factor is sine of n psi by 2 divided by sine psi by 2. This is what we have found that what is your total electric field. Magnitude of total electric field is E naught sine of n psi by 2 divided by sine psi by 2. That is your total electric field, and this is your array factor is given by Et divided by Et maximum. So that is, you will get a sine n psi by 2 divided by sine psi by 2. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
For all of you, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Any doubt so far? Big derivation. See, all these derivations you have to study. Otherwise, you will not be able to solve the problems. So what we have done here, we have taken n point sources, progressive phase shift A1, A2, A3, A4. We have taken at the origin at the point source A0 itself. So when you have taken at the point source A0 itself, so you will get the first one E0, then e raised to the power j psi, 2 j psi, all those things. So that will be your equation 1. Then we have defined what is psi is equal to beta cos phi plus alpha, where psi indicates the total phase difference from the adjacent sources calculated at point P. Where alpha is the progressive phase difference between the two adjacent point sources. Alpha can be 0 or 180 degree. Alpha is equal to 0 indicates n element, implies n element uniform broadside array, and alpha is equal to 180 degrees indicates n element uniform end fire array. Then multiplying equation 1 throughout by e raised to the power j psi, you will get Et into e raised to the power j psi, E0 e raised to the power j psi. So whole thing you multiply with e raised to the power j psi. That you call this is equation 2, and so then subtract equation 1 from equation 2. You will end up getting this equation 3, e raised to the power j n psi divided by 1 minus e raised to the power j psi. Then you take e raised to the power j n psi by 2 outside, you will get some mathematical formula like this. After you get that mathematical formula, what you need to do is apply this geometrical equation e raised to the power j raised to the power minus j theta into e raised to the power j theta. Once you apply that, so you will get minus 2 j sine theta. So the same thing I apply, I'll get like this. Then I'll define zeta is equal to, n minus 1 psi by 2. So your total electric field will be E0 e raised to the power j zeta sine n psi by 2 divided by sine psi by 2. So total electric field Et is equal to E naught sine n of n psi by 2 divided by sine psi by 2. Then I will define what is an array factor known as the total electric field divided by total electric field maximum value. To total electric field is sine of n psi by 2 divided Et max is nothing but E naught. So E naught get cancelled and you will get the array factor as sine n psi by 2 divided by sine of psi by 2. Is it clear? All of
Yes.
you, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Prajwal V. Atreya, are you present? Prajwal V. Atreya. Okay. Actually, the number of people present is showing as 88 here and absent as 33. So some have not been able to join. Are you there, Prajwal V. Atreya? Prajwal V. Atreya. There are two Prajwal V. Atreyas. Okay. I'm just recounting the attendance here. Chandana H, are you there? Chandana H. Guru Prasad, are you there?
So
Guru
Prajwal
Prasad.
Atreya, right, sir?
Huh?
So Prajwal Atreya.
Where were you?
Sir, I was here only, sir.
After a call, after 10 minutes, you will tell her.
So the microphone was off, sir.
Okay, fine. Guru Prasad, are you there? Mr. Guru Prasad. Divakar. Chandana H. Surya K. Okay. Latish Kumar. Kusmanjali. Latish Kumar. Suman. Neha.
Yes, sir.
Suman present.
Present, sir.
Okay. Kavya UP, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Suprita Manvi. Even Wing Commander Srinivas Rao, you are being shown as absent here.
Very nice. Maybe because of my, I am not doing any activity, no. So could be that could be the reason.
Okay. So Wing Commander Srinivas Rao, another 15 minutes I will carry on. So on Monday you can take 2 hours class.
No problem. Please continue. No problem.
So I just gave one small break for the students. Non-stop I am also going. If I stop in between, I have to once again restart this.
Yeah.
Right now, case 1, broadside array. BROAD, broad side array. In broadside array, what will be a major lobe direction? What will be the direction of the array? Major lobe.
90 degrees and 270 degrees.
Excellent. Who answered that?
Mahima, sir.
Excellent, Mahima. So this will be 90 degree or 270 degrees. Okay. Next, write down magnitude of major lobe. Maximum magnitude of major lobe. Okay, so that is counted as electric field Et is equal to limit psi tending to 0. That same array factor I will take, dou by dou psi of sine n psi by 2 divided by dou by, I am doing partial differential equation, dou by dou psi sine psi by 2, psi tending to 0. So this is approximately this is found equal to n, this derivation is not needed for you. So what happens if you differentiate this is you will get n by 2 partial differentiation with respect to psi. So you will get n by 2. So you will get n by 2 cos n psi by 2 divided by half into cos psi by 2. So that is what you will end up getting here. So okay, I'll do the derivation. Shall I do for your understanding? Can I do?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, this is well understood. So limit psi tending to 0. So if I do partial derivation, what will happen here? This will be n by 2. Okay, with only with respect to psi. So n by 2 into cos of n psi by 2 divided by, this will be half into cos of psi by 2. This is what will happen if I do the differentiation. So your half of will get cancelled. Okay, so you will end up getting n cos 0 divided by cos 0. Both are 1 1. So your magnitude will become to n. That is your magnitude of your major lobe is equal to 1. Got it? Got it?
Yes, sir.
Magnitude, maximum magnitude of the major lobe is equal to 1. You have to do a partial differentiation with respect to psi when limit psi tending to 0. Okay, next. Null direction in case of broadside array. Total electric field ET is your sine of n psi by 2 divided by sine of psi by 2. For null direction, you have to equate this to 0. If you equate this to 0, so what happens is sine of n psi by 2 can be equal to 0. So if you have to equate to 0, can the denominator be equal to 0?
No.
So it will become indeterminate. So only sine of n psi by 2 can be equal to 0, but sine of psi by 2 cannot be equal to 0. So only sine of n psi by 2 is equal to 0. So what will happen is n psi by 2 is equal to sine inverse of 0, that is equal to plus minus m pi, where m is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Okay. Substitute psi is equal to beta d cos phi. Substitute psi is equal to beta d cos phi. So what will happen is psi here will be beta d cos phi by 2. This will be equal to sine inverse of 0. Okay. So beta will be equal to what I should substitute. Beta is equal to 2 pi by lambda and d is equal to lambda by 2. So what you will end up getting is n into beta is 2 pi by lambda, d is equal to lambda by 2 cos phi whole divided by 2. This is equal to sine inverse of 0. All of you are following me? This is equal to plus minus m pi. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. This 2 will get cancelled. Lambda will get cancelled. One second, he has not substituted what is d. So continue to maintain this as D. 1 second, one small change. So D don't substitute equal to this one. You don't substitute because we want to find something else. So you maintain this as D itself. Okay. So what will happen is your n by 2 is there. No, this 2 and this 2 will get cancelled. So your 2 pi by lambda. So I'll rewrite this equation so it will be clear for you. So what will happen is n beta is equal to 2 pi by lambda into d cos phi divided by 2 is equal to sine inverse of 0 is equal to plus minus m pi. So this pi and this pi will get cancelled. Okay. So these two and these two will get cancelled. Now finally what will happen is cos phi minimum, because this is a null direction, minimum we have equated to minimum, you will get m into lambda. This will go to the right hand side, plus minus, this is plus minus m into lambda divided by n into d. This is your cos phi minimum. So your phi minimum will be equal to cos inverse of m lambda divided by n d. This whole thing is your plus minus. Okay, where n is the number of elements in the array, write down. Where n is the number of elements in the array, d is the distance between the elements, d is equal to distance between the elements, lambda is the wavelength. All of you got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir.
All of you got it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next is your fourth point. Write as subsidiary maxima. You have to practice this once. Subsidiary maxima, straight away write down the equation cos inverse of plus minus lambda one second, and write this as plus minus outside only lambda 2m plus 1 divided by 2nd. This is what you will get for subsidiary maximum. Okay, next, these formulas you have to remember because you will be doing problems. Even if you don't want to do these small derivations, leave it. The main endpoint sources derivation up to array factor is very important. Your null direction and your maximum direction, they may ask. The subsidiary maxima derivation and all, they will not ask. That's why I'm not doing this derivation. Straight away I'm writing the formula for you. Otherwise each derivation will take one page. Beam width of the major load. All this is for broadside array. Beam width between first nulls, BWFN is equal to 2 lambda divided by ND is equal to 2 lambda divided by ND, or this can be written as 2 divided by if nd is equal to L, if nd is equal to L, so what will happen? This will be L by lambda, this many radians, or this will be 2 lambda divided by L. This is beam width between the first nulls, and nd is equal to n minus 1 into d if n is very large. If n is very large, if a number of elements in the array is very large, you have to use this formula instead of LD. This will be n minus 1 into d. This is all some assumptions. When you are doing the problems, you will understand that better. Okay. BWF1, beam width between first nulls, can also be written in degree as, this is all radians, 114.6 degrees divided by L by lambda, this many degrees. Please write down these formulas. We will be using this in the problems. Next, half power beam width. Half power beam width. Half power beam width, HPBW, will be nothing but your BWF1, beam width between first nulls, divided by 2. So what I should write this, if I divide the above equation by 2, 114.6 degrees divided by 2, what will happen? Whole thing divided by 2. 57.3 divided by L by lambda, this many degrees. Okay. Next, this is your 7th point, directivity. Directivity, or your GD maximum, that is gain, maximum gain will be 2L by lambda. That is your maximum gain. All this is for your broadside array. This is your case 1, that is your broadside array. Now we will be doing case 2. All these formulas you have to remember. From major lobe, maximum magnitude of the major lobe, null, that is your phi minimum. Then you have to remember subsidiary maximum, beam width between the first nulls, half power beam width, and directivity. This much you have to remember. Okay. Next, write down as case 2. Can I continue? Purva Chandra Prakash, can I continue another 10 minutes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Write down this as case 2 end fire array. Your phi max is equal to 0 degree or 180 degree. Okay, that is your maximum direction. Already you know. Phi minimum is equal to plus minus cos inverse of, straight away write down the equations. These derivations will not come. M lambda divided by nd. In your broadside array, it was m lambda divided by nd. Now it is 1 minus. Remember here. This is what we did here. M lambda divided by nd. So in this case, it is 1 minus m lambda divided by nd, where m is equal to 1, 2, 3, and so on and so forth. That is your phi minimum direction. Next, write down phi of side loads is cos inverse of, so plus minus will come outside. So the same thing, 1 minus 2m plus 1 lambda divided by 2nd. Now please see here, side lobes, what I have written is lambda 2m plus 1 divided by 2md. in your subsidiary maximum for your end fire array, that is this one is broadside array, this will be 1 minus of this. Are you getting the difference? So if you remember one, the other one you can write. Clear?
Yes.
Clear?
Yes, sir.
very
Yes, sir.
good. Next, your beam width between first nulls BWFN is plus minus 114.6 degrees into 2m divided by L by lambda. This is your BWFN. Your half power beam width is your half power beam width will be half of that. That is your BWFN divided by 2. So that will be nothing but your plus minus 57.3 degrees into 2m divided by L by lambda, and your directivity D will be equal to 4L by lambda. This is your directivity or your maximum gain for your end fire array. All of you got it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Quickly we'll do one problem. So that we can understand this better. Right down. Yeah. Uniform linear array consists of 16 isotropic point sources with a spacing of lambda by 4. If its phase shift is 180 degrees, calculate half power beam width, directivity, beam solid angle, and effective aperture Your linear array consists of 16 isotropic point sources with spacing of lambda by 4. If its phase shift is 180 degree, calculate the half power beam width, the directivity, beam solid angle, and effective aperture. Now, is this a broadside array or end fire array? Kavya, is it a broadside array or end fire array? Okay. Kavya, UP, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Is it broadside array or end fire array? A uniform linear array consists of 16 isotropic point sources with spacing of lambda by 4. If its phase shift is 180 degree, calculate the half power beam width, directivity, beam solid angle, and effective aperture. Now, which formula I should apply here, broadside or end fire? Any idea?
180 degree.
See,
Yes, sir. Yes,
Ah,
yes, sir.
ah.
End fire itself.
Very good. Why end fire? Rainak Sharma. Rainak Sharma, the great. Tell me.
Sir, the phase shift is 180 degrees. That is why, sir.
Yes. Phase shift is 180 degrees. So which array it should come? All of you, repeat with me. Which
End
array?
fire. End fire.
End fire. So don't fire anyone, but it is end fire, okay? So
End
you
fire.
don't have to fire anyone. Whenever your phase shift is 180 degree, which array it will come?
End fire.
So we will get one situation where it is neither end fire nor broadside. Those problems are also there. So these the things, if you understand in the class, you will score 100% marks. If you do not understand, you will get one big anda in the exam. So either you will get anda or 100%. It is like your ones or zeros here. So now which array is this? End fire array. So since phase shift is, all of you are with me?
Yes, sir.
Since phase shift is 180 degrees, this is equal to your end fire array. End fire array. So use all the formulas from your end fire array. How many elements are there? N is equal to 16. Okay. What is D? What is D?
Lambda by 4.
D is your lambda by 4. Okay. So what will be the length of the array? If it is the number of elements is very less, it will be equal to ND. The number of elements is quite large, it will be N minus 1 into D. Since there are 16 array, it is in double digits. So I will consider L is equal to N minus 1 into D, because it is 16 elements. So this will be 16 minus 1 into lambda by 4. This will be your length of the array. What it is? 15 lambda by 4. This is your length of the array. Okay. Next, next what you have to find? Half power beam width. HP half power beam width. Half power beam width. What is your half power beam width formula? Here only it is there. 57.3. 50 plus minus. Please write down with me. Plus minus for end fire array. 57.3 into square root of 2m divided by L by lambda. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So next, what will be the value of m? Consider m is equal to 1. Only first integer will take. Consider m is equal to 1. So what I will end up getting is plus minus 57.3 degrees divide square root of 2m. What is your value of L? What is your value of L? L 15 lambda by 4. What your value of L is? 15 lambda by 4 divided by, what is your wavelength? Okay, divided by lambda. You will write, I will write lambda as lambda itself. So what will be this now? Plus minus 57.3 square root of, what will happen? Lambda goes. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
2 into 4 by 15. This is what will happen. Find out this.
Plus or minus 41.846.
Yes. So your half power beam width is plus minus 41.84 degrees. This is your half power beam width. Next, I will do directivity. Directivity, what is the formula here? 4L by lambda. Okay. So 4L. What is the length of the array? See, I have taken directivity formula straight away from this. 4L by lambda. What is the length of the array? 15 lambda by 4. So I will substitute here 15 lambda by 4. So 4 into 15 lambda by 4 divided by lambda. What is this? 4 will get cancelled. Lambda will get cancelled. So what is your directivity? 15. Okay.
15.
Agreed.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You
Yes,
tell
sir.
me in dB.
$11.76.
What? Directivity in dB, Purva Chandra Prakash.
11.76.
So anything else he has asked? Find the directivity, beam solid angle. Next, we have to find the beam solid angle. This is from your last unit. Your beam solid angle is nothing but 4 pi divided by directivity. 4 pi divided by directivity. Use the normal directivity, not in dB. So that is 4 pi divided by 15. So what is this? Substitute this and tell me. This is your beam solid angle. This from your previous module, you know, beam solid angle is 4 pi by directivity.
0.83.
83.
837. What will be the unit? Sterdian, SR. Sterdian, SR. That is your beam solid angle. Next, last one. What you have to find is effective aperture. If you remember the formula, this is d lambda square divided by 4 pi. Okay. Now do this. What is directivity? 15 lambda square divided by 4 pi. So in terms of lambda square only, you have to write. What will be your effective aperture?
1.19 lambda square.
1.19
lambda square.
3 lambda square. What will be the unit by effective aperture? Aperture area. What will be the unit? What will be the unit of area?
Meters, sir.
Correct. This is your effective aperture. So your effective aperture. Okay, and your beam solid angle is 0.837 sterdian. Your directivity is 15, half power beam width, length of the array, everything you have found. Now, next type of problem, you have to plot the field pattern. Okay. You want me to do one more problem? Shall we do one more problem? Or shall we end here? I'm asking you a question.
We can stop, sir.
All of you are tired.
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, you should have energy. See, after a long time, I'm doing this work. No, see, am I doing this every day? Your class, I'm getting it once in a week. In that too, so many holidays have come. So because of the holiday, I could not go anywhere. Still, you have so many portions to be covered in the 4th module. I have to do a lot of problems here. So after doing all the problems, I have to do so many things. then I will finish part 1 of your module 4. Please see the syllabus. Now, where are we? I will try to tell you. You're 17-18 scheme, right? All of you. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. I'll just tell you where are we. See, I think your module 2 is going on coaxial connectors and adapters and attenuators. Is this over? Microwave passive devices, is it over? Beena, tell me. Is it over?